What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Breaking Entering Podcast. Already through a month of football, seems to be flying by. Certain teams are starting to pull away, certain teams are starting to catch up, and some teams are starting to fall behind. We're gonna get into it, but first, Brandon, how we doing today?
Doing all right. It's not a victory Monday or Tuesday here, but hey, it
Same,
happens. That's all you can
yeah,
say.
for real.
Yeah. All right, everyone, let's get to this opening drive. Giants co owner John Mara was recently diagnosed with cancer. He plans to stay with the team during his treatment. Wide receiver Malik Neighbors, he'll miss the remainder of the season with a torn ACL. The Browns, they've added to their offensive line, trading with the Texans to acquire Cam Robinson, the offensive tackle. Steelers quarterback Skylar Thompson, he was jumped and robbed last Friday in Dublin, Ireland. He suffered minor injuries. He was at the game. Ravens defensive tackle Namdi Matabike, he's out for the season with a neck injury that could possibly be career-ending. Marlon Humphrey and Roquan Smith are also expected to miss multiple weeks after leaving the game as well. Eagles coach Nick Sirianni said A.J. Brown wants to remain after the team. We'll have more of that A.J. Brown discussion later. And Tyreek Hill, he'll miss the remainder of the season with multiple torn ligaments. Any thoughts on opening drive it?
I was kind of shocked at first when I saw that the Texans traded away one of their offensive linemen just because their offensive line isn't really too good. But Cam Robinson, lately he hasn't been starting. He's more of a rotational piece for them. So I guess they'll be, they think they'll be better off with them. But I'm not kind of surprised they aren't trying to make changes to, improve the offensive line. I mean, they did beat the Titans, but as my guy Cam Ward said, they are ass. So I don't know how much that says that they beat somebody. But yeah, I'm kind of shocked by that. And tough news for your Ravens and Namdi. That Tyreek Hill injury was really gruesome. Felt really bad for Malik Neighbors too. They showed him. You could see him screaming in agony on the sideline. Kind of remind me of Odell Beckham when he got hurt with the Giants, because he kind of reminded me of Odell when he first started out. How he was like, taking over the league with his play. So yeah, that was tough. Tough injuries out there.
Yeah, I was in the same boat when it came to that Texans offensive line. I was like, damn, they just traded away one of the other left tackle earlier this offseason to you all. And
Tonsil.
Tunsil, and they're still having issues on that interior offensive line. Mainly, it's the entire offensive line, but definitely the interior. We talked about you texting me during that game. He was like, "Man, he just got sacked. He literally snapped the ball and he got sacked, and that was Jeffrey Simmons coming right up in the middle." Boy,
Yeah,
yeah,
Jeffrey Simmons. Yeah,
I was like, of all people for them not to block on that Titans defense with Jeffrey Simmons, he's literally been their best player over the past probably 5 years plus. So yeah, we'll see what they look like moving forward, that offensive line. But yeah, I did look it up as well, like you said, and come find out he wasn't even playing. I was like, wow, really? Okay.
yeah.
All right. MetLife Stadium, everyone. Not expected. The Giants upset the Chargers 21-18. I'm gonna take this one right off the top. This is what Giants fans we wanted. Yes, I'm a part-time Giants fan because of my father. But more so needed someone at the quarterback position to give us hope, a spark, energy, something, a reason to watch, a reason to believe. He didn't have an offensive rookie of the year performance in Jackson Dart, but they got the W. He made plays when they needed the most. I'm going to go to the fourth quarter. He had a huge third down pass to number 84. I didn't get the guy's name. Just outside the 2 minute warning that nearly sealed the game, forced the Chargers to take their last time out. The Chargers did end up with the ball back with about 18 seconds. Herbert overthrew Quentin Johnson deep left, and then the very next play, um, hit Johnson again, but they tackled him in bounds just on the sideline, and the clock ran out. You even saw Justin Herbert and them. They really didn't even rush up to the line because by that time he caught the ball, it was like 2 seconds left, and the time was expiring on the clock, and the Giants had won. But yeah, their defense probably played the best game of the season. They forced two interceptions. It was nearly a third one. Deontay Banks, a guy who I've been very vocal about his gameplay, how bad it's been since he joined the league. Um, he had an interception, but they called it back. It was a penalty on the play. They also held their top wide receiver, in my opinion, Lad McConkey, to one catch for like 11 yards, and Herbert had a 39.6 QBR. One thing with the game, the international game, I was watching the ESPN NFL Countdown. I don't typically watch them, but I was watching them Sunday instead of NFL Network. um, Rex Ryan and Alex Smith had a heated argument about Jackson Dart and what the impact would be on this Giants team just in the first game. Ryan was more in the terms of he's going to make other guys play better because they know they have that dog at quarterback. They know that guy that wants to come out and win. And it wasn't saying that Russ wasn't. It's just I don't think Russ is there at that stage anymore. We see him get fiery sometimes and stuff like that. But we've also seen those stretches of Russ's career lately where it hasn't gone good. So here you got a guy that the last time we really seen him on the field was preseason. This is one thing that Rex Ryan was saying. He played the best at quarterback position for the Giants, and now he's coming in and starting. Again, he'll be that spark. He'll be something. He was like, they probably won't beat the Chargers, and nobody picked the Chargers, including myself, heading into this game. But he'll be a spark. And Alex Smith was like, he was the total opposite. He was like, it's just not going to work. This the Giants. They got Malik Neighbors. Tyron Tracy is banged up. The offensive line is not good. The secondary is not good. The same things I've said over the last year, pretty much. But in the end, they got it done, and Rex Ryan was right. So good for him. And shout out to Sexy Dexy. They call him Dexter Lawrence up there in New York. Probably my favorite Giant right now. He had the tip pass to himself and one of those two interceptions on Justin Herbert. A great play for a big defensive lineman. You got to give credit where credit's due on that. But look, again, it wasn't a perfect game at all for Jackson Dart. But they upset one of the hottest teams in football that was 3-0. They had beaten every team in the division, and a couple of those games were pretty sound wins for the Chargers. And they went into MetLife. They crossed the country and took the loss. And the Giants finally got a win. So there's hope for now. Ed, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I was texting you about this game because I had these damn Chargers in my parlay and they fucked it up. And you were telling me trap game. I was thinking to myself, yeah, you were exactly right. That is exactly a trap game. Man, like you said, man, Jackson Dart was the spark they needed. I guess he seemed like a breath of fresh air. He didn't throw for a lot of yards, only had like 111 yards, but he did have 54 yards rushing, and he seemed to have timely runs or timely scrambles where he made something happen to run. Because you look at the time of possession, they dominated. That's pretty much the only thing they dominated. Because if you look at the stats, Chargers had more yards. They had more passing yards. The Giants edged them out the rushing yards, but not by many. But it was just one of these games, it seemed to be a trap game. Going forward, I'm very curious to see how the Chargers are going to respond to this. They did lose Joe Alt. I think he had a high ankle sprain, so he left that game. Now the offensive line for the Chargers is even more banged up. Najee Harris is out for the year, of course. So I'm wondering going forward with that running game and then the O line in general for the Chargers is going to look like until Joe Alt comes back from that high ankle sprain. If he does miss any time, I'm guessing he will, but we'll see how that goes. On the Giants side of the ball, yeah, I was kind of shocked with their performance. Like we mentioned in the opening drive, Malik Neighbors tearing his ACL. I felt really bad for him, and it was kind of tough to watch him on the ground. Like you could tell something was bad right away by the way he reacted. So I'm wondering how the Giants' offense is going to look without him going forward, and who's going to step up in that passing game without Neighbors out there. I'm sure Wandale Robinson, Darius Slayton will get some more targets. I'm guessing the tight end Theo Johnson. I believe he was one of the guys who, or the guy who did catch a touchdown pass from Jackson Dart, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure he'll get some more targets as well. Also, Scatterbo has still been looking pretty good. He looks pretty tough out there, getting yards after contact, banging people around. So you don't know. I don't know what to make of this win for the Giants. I'm not sure how far they can go. Jackson Dart, he looked okay out there. He didn't blow me away. I think you were saying the same. He didn't really do a lot, but he did enough to win a game. I wonder if it was a breath of fresh air for the Giants and how they, got a new quarterback in and they feel a little more rejuvenated. And Russell's in there, even though he threw a party against the Cowboys, threw for over like 400 yards. He did have that pick at the end of the game, and that was kind of lost him. I don't know if he has that juice, that spark, the charisma, the it factor, whatever you want to call it, to rally around the guys anymore. I think for what I've been hearing, Jackson Dart does have that, and it showed this weekend. But going forward, we'll see. Because I'm sure he'll play against some better offenses. Not saying that the Chargers are a bad offense, but I'm sure he'll play against some better offenses, and he'll have to score more. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes going forward. But a good
Yep.
win for the Giants. I'm mad as hell the Chargers were ruining my damn parlay. Goddamn clowns. Come on, Harbaugh, get it together, man. Oh my goodness. All right, y'all. Before we get going to the next segment, this episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD and wellness company. Check out their full line of CBD infused products, which make great stocking stuffers for the upcoming holiday season. Perfect for athletes, weekend warriors, soccer moms, and even armchair quarterbacks. They have CBD infused honey, which is a personal favorite, as well as tinctures and mint and regular flavor. Most importantly, they are veteran and women owned. So come get some of this sweet temptation and taste the premium difference. Use code B and E for 15% off your order. Their website is premium.com, PREHEMIUM.com. Again, that's PREHEMIUM.com. And now let's get back to our show. All right. You got it right, Brandon. My damn Commanders lost to the Falcons 34-27. What did you think of this game?
Yeah, your defense, they had pretty tough time stopping Atlanta's offense, mainly Bijan, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts. I know those are pretty much their skill position players. But I remember texting you twice saying that Bobby Wagner got schooled. Then you came back and said that Von Miller got schooled as well. So, yeah, it was just a tough day for y'all. I thought Atlanta would come out and respond after that week 3 blowout loss against Carolina. In fact, they got shut out. Michael Penix got benched. Um, uh, your guy, your former quarterback, Kirk Cousins, he came in that game as well and stunk it up as well. And they definitely
Like
did.
that.
They came out, had pretty much full control of this game from start to finish. Drake London and Bijan both finished with over 100 yards apiece in the air. Michael Penix finished with 126 passer rating. I think Bijan finished around 70 some yards on the ground. Um, it was definitely obvious y'all didn't have Terry and Jaden on offense. We saw Mariota make a few mistakes there at his own, at his former place of employment. So yeah, y'all were behind from the jumps and y'all just could not recover. Well, I'm gonna give you more time. How do you feel about this one?
You know that when you text me about Bobby Wagner getting schooled, the whole damn defense gets schooled. I was talking to a coworker on Monday. He kind of talked me off the ledge because I was ready to be just done with the defense. I'm concerned about him, but he was saying, it's still early, which is true. So adjustments can be made. I just don't know, if they are able to make some adjustments to improve this defense. Lord help them. They deserve all of the awards and trophies in the world if they can make this defense any better. Because this is the second time in a row. It's the same thing happened against the Packers where we cut the lead and we need the defense to make a stop. I think the score was like 24-31 at one point in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. But we basically cut the lead where we stopped them, get a touchdown, tie game. Same thing happened against the Packers. It was 17-10. We scored a touchdown, made the game 17-10. What happens next? We kick the ball off. Packers march down the field and score a touchdown. Same thing happens against the Falcons. It's just when we need the defense to make a play, it's not going to happen. It's pretty much a guarantee that somebody is going to blow an assignment. Somebody on the offense, on the opposing team, is going to make a play and make somebody look old, i.e., Von Miller. I think it was Tyler Algier who broke his tackle in the backfield and ran for a touchdown. You talked about Bobby Wagner getting schooled. Is there certain plays he looks old out there, in my opinion? I mean, a guy's just running away from him, no, with ease. It seems like. I'm not gonna get too much into the linebackers. Are you pretty? It's pretty well documented how I feel about the linebacker core as a whole. Media, on the other hand, they praise him. Bobby Wagner. I always see his stats when he was his. Let me stop. Let me stop. I love you, Bobby Wagner. This ain't nothing. This ain't nothing to do with you personally, but this is the defense as a whole, man. I'm just hoping something improves because this is concerning. I feel like it's going to be the same thing, the same tune. We go out there, we need a defense to make a play, and they wet the bed. They're going to let somebody do something to them. I mean, maybe the Panthers just have the Falcons number, but they get shut out. You're kind of right. I did expect the Falcons to come out a little better just because they probably were embarrassed by what they let the Panthers do to them. But at the same time, like, damn, can we, stop him when we need to make a stop? We can't do anything. Kyle Pitts, doing his thing. I think you said it that Bijan Robinson had a career day. Michael Penix certainly had a career day after what they did against the Panthers. It's like, come on, man. Terry's out, Jaden Daniels out, and the offense is still doing what they can to give us a chance. But the defense, again, is looking like the weak link. Joe Witt, I don't know if you need to go down on the field. I don't know I don't need if you need to go on the field or something, but something has to change, man, because this damn defense is my goodness. I think we are the worst defense in the league. I'm sure you beg to differ on that. We're gonna get into that a little later, but this defense, man, it's just especially when we play, guys who are probably going to be Pro Bowlers and All Pros like B. John Robinson and Drake London. When we play guys like that, they seem to be able to make things happen. So I'm hoping that the Commanders' defense can turn things around. I think we got the Chargers next. I'm hoping Jaden Daniels is healthy. I'm not too sure about Terry. We'll see. We'll talk about it more on the next episode. But that defense, man, oh goodness, they getting on my damn nerves. I'll tell you that much. That's all I gotta say about them clowns right now.
All right. Shift gears here, everyone. What a game in Tampa Bay Saturday afternoon. Excuse me, Sunday afternoon. Battle of 2 3-0 teams finished with the Eagles improving to 4-0. Ed, we're going to start with you on this one.
I've been saying it kind of throughout the season so far. Good teams find ways to win games. And when you're playing against good teams, if you're making a mistake, they're going to capitalize off of it. I believe this is the second week in a row that the Eagles have now, made something happen with special teams. On a game like this, where little mistakes matter, can tip the scale. That's seemed to be exactly what happened. Where the Eagles, I think it was a punt they blocked. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it was a punt they blocked, and they returned it for a touchdown. I'm not saying that was a big difference, but looking at the score, that separates, another 6-7 points right there. So good teams find ways to win games, man. And if you make a mistake against a good team, they're going to capitalize off of it. Um, Away from the game, more to like the team, I'm kind of getting concerned about AJ Brown. This seems to keep happening where if his production isn't good, there's some kind of he made a social media post where he quoted something, and I'm just thinking to myself like, I get it because he's a wide receiver, he needs to put up numbers, but at the same time y'all winning games, so it's like, is this going to be a distraction for the locker room? I'm sure with all wide receivers who are, prime time, big time wide receivers, divas, if you want to call them that, there is some management that you got to do. You got to, handle them differently than how you handle another guy on the team, especially, your number one receiver. So I'm wondering, because there was, talk last year, him and Jalen's relationship, kind of, was frayed a little bit. Who knows what the true story is? Only they could really know that. But I'm just wondering, another thing like this, are they going to get tired of like, look, man, what's up? What are we doing here? We are 4-0 right now. We're winning games. Even though you only caught 2 balls for 7 yards, we're winning games. Can you like just shut the hell up, go out there and do your job, or do we gotta handle this another way? I'm wondering if that's gonna be the case, if it's gonna like deteriorate the relationship, or if they'll continue to win games. They're finding ways to win games, or are they gonna be okay? Going forward though, I think the Bucs, they definitely got something that Buka. Right now, he's my leading candidate for rookie of the year for the offensive side of the ball. I'm trying to think of other candidates. Genty finally had a breakout game, but Buka has been really consistent from the jump, from the gate. So I think he has a lead on people. I didn't know, we talked, I think I texted you about it. I didn't know Chris Godwin was available for his game, so I saw him going out there. He didn't really do too much, but I'm sure going forward, he's going to ramp it up even more and more and be even better out there. So I think the Bucs, they just made a couple of mistakes, but going forward, I think the Bucs will be okay. The Eagles, oh, man, I don't know, Brandon. I just from these games, man, I think they're going to be back in the damn Super Bowl again. I know it's early, but I really do, and I'm not looking forward to it. Congrats, Eagles fan. Y'all even had a fake tush push. I think y'all faked the tush push and gave it to Saquon Barkley. Thought that was really creative. I'm not looking forward to even any more creative plays and stuff like
Yep.
that. Zach Bond looking great out there. He flying around the damn field. It's just good win for the Eagles. I'm sick of it. Can somebody beat them already, please? Good Lord. Brandon, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's crazy how you can be on a win streak right now, 4 in a row, 5 games removed from the Super Bowl win, and everybody's talking about their offensive deficiencies. Definitely was a hot topic heading into this game as well, and I'm pretty sure it's catching some national attention right now. But that's what the Eagles are dealing with. Another game where the passing game wasn't exactly stellar, but the Eagles' defense really held things down. Plus the special teams. You mentioned that block punt. That was another thing that back in week 2, I don't know if y'all remember, they had uh, a game on Monday Night Football, and I remember texting you saying that the Bucs special teams unit was an issue back then, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
still an issue now. All right, everyone. Um, Despite big performances by Abuka and Bucky Irvin, as you mentioned, Baker really struggled to get things going early on against the Phillies defense, Philadelphia's defense. Let me go that way. We're not talking about baseball. The first half drives ended in again the block punt, a punt, a field goal, another punt, a punt again, and a field goal. That was their first half. But then came the second half. It was kind of like a 360 for both sides. Baker hit Ibuka. He walked into the end zone. I remember you texting me saying that he walked into the on the end zone that play. He better not do that too many more times because he's gonna turn around. Somebody gonna be right there. Um, Both Philly defenders fell on that one. Then he hit Bucky Irvin for another touchdown. After that Saquon touchdown, you mentioned the fake push play, and I think they had 2 plays like that where they were lined up looking like they were going to do push, but they came out. The play was totally something different. And then the fourth quarter was basically a bunch of lousy play on both sides, honestly. But in my opinion, Philly I do like their odds right now, and I woke up this morning thinking the same thing. Like they're probably going to go to the Super Bowl after this start right here. Um, Again, they have the experience, so and then they're winning. It's just looking like it right now. But they were kind of lucky to win this game, in my opinion, because of the offensive play in the second half. Jalen Hurts, he was 0 for 8 in the second half. They had -1 total yards of offense in the second half as well. Not good. Lucky they pulled it off against such a good team like Tampa Bay, but they won't always have that opportunity. Just saying, it just doesn't always work like that when you play like that on offense in one half against a good team. But I picked Tampa Bay going into this game. I was clearly wrong. Again, I was watching NFL Sunday Countdown on ESPN. Randy Moss made a valid point. He said that the last time Philly beat the Bucs, AJ Brown was playing. Had I known that before this game, I would have went with the Eagles. He didn't play last year in the blowout loss. He didn't play the other times before either. He just wasn't on the field as far as injury, or he was still with the Titans at that time. So, very good point by Randy Moss. Shout out to him at ESPN for that take right there. And yeah, real quick on that AJ Brown situation. Um, I'm not a Beyonce fan. I can't sing like her, but she had a song named Diva, and she says she ain't no diva, but he is a diva. You know I've said this before. He's just one of those guys, and you said it best. You gotta really kind of treat him different. You gotta kind of cater to him. You gotta kind of kiss his butt. Um, but at the end of the day, all he wants is the ball. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they want to win, but he's one of those guys that he could put up, 9 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. They lose, and he's happy after that because he got his stats, he got his plays, he got into the end zone. But yeah, he's one of them guys. He could stay right there in Philly. Don't Baltimore don't think about bringing him on board. I don't think we necessarily need a wide receiver right now. We have several other deficiencies on both sides of the ball. He's one of those guys I don't want on my team because of that. I've never been a guy that want that. And luckily enough, over years, I'm not going to stay in the subject long, but real quick, lucky over the years, we haven't had the best quarterback besides Lamar lately, where receivers wanted to come to play in Baltimore. So we kind of got away from that diva situation. We had Steve Smith for a little bit. He was kind of a diva, but other than that, we've been lucky. We had Des Bryant too, but he wasn't there long either. So yeah, they can have fun with that Philly. We'll see how it goes. I know heading into the season, his name was mentioned possibly on the trade block as well. But winning cures all in a sense. They had just won that Super Bowl, so I think that's part of the reason why they kept him. We'll see how it goes down the stretch.
Yeah, and one more thing. I'm glad you mentioned that Buka. Completely forgot about how I texted you about him walking into the end zone. I could be nitpicking here, but I'm thinking to myself, hold on, y'all down multiple scores right now, and you walking into the end zone. You need to like hurry up and score. Time is of the essence right now. You wasting time walking the end zone looking cool, man. I could be nitpicking, but I'm just thinking about that.
Rookie play. You
Yeah.
see that sometimes from vets too, but that was a rookie play, and he's been playing very good as a rookie. So it's surprising that he did that. Yeah, maybe it was some jawing on the field. Maybe that's why he did it. But I
Oh, it
blame that
probably
on Rookie.
was. Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. They
Yeah.
yap a lot. I ain't gonna get into that, but yeah, Eagles definitely yap a lot.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Brandon's team, you know, tough loss. They lost a lot of pieces on the defensive front. Ravens lost to the Chiefs 37-20. Brandon, I don't know if you remember the last show, opening drive. They said Xavier Worthy was coming back, and I said I'm not too sure Brandon will be happy about that. The Chiefs definitely missing when he was gone. You could see when he's back out there only had like 5 catches for 83 yards, but just his impact on the field, you got to account for him because he's such an explosive player. He made plays when needed to. I think he was useful in special teams as well. But just overall, I was kind of shocked. I guess I shouldn't be just because you've been talking about it, especially with the injuries he had on the defensive side of the ball. I was kind of shocked at the score. I was watching Red Zone, and they didn't really show too much of your game. I had to like check the score, and I saw the score at one point. I was like, "Whoa, what the hell?" It was like, I think it was like can't remember. But it wasn't a good score. I see Lamar Jackson is out the game. I didn't know. I thought he got benched, but apparently it was a hamstring issue. Even though that's kind of under guess because you walk over to the sideline, it didn't look like medical personnel went over to him. Kind of looked like he came out and went straight to the bench. So I'm not sure how they calling that, but officially it was a hamstring issue. That defense, Brandon, is due to injuries. The D line, I'm mostly concerned with. Y'all not really getting a pass rush. They didn't really run the ball a lot on y'all, but they, made plays when they needed to. Pass rush, the D line, running defense is just bad. And then you lose Roquan Smith. Then you lose Marlon Humphrey. Did you say Nate Wiggins got carted off the field? Somebody else got hurt, I want to say,
Yeah,
besides the
Nate
two at the name.
Nate was banged up too.
I don't know what you're going to do, man. I mean, Mike Green, a rookie. I haven't heard his name. You heard his name in a bad way. I haven't heard his name at all when I'm watching games in a good way. Guys got to step up. Everyone says it's next man up. It's truly next man up for y'all. Hopefully, y'all find a wish and a prayer. Somebody comes out there, gives a spark on the defense. I don't know. So y'all need a players only meeting in the defense or something, but something's got to change, y'all. 1-3 right now. It's still early. Of hopefully, this Lamar Jackson hamstring issue is something that he'll be able to play next week, and it won't be an issue going forward. The offense is definitely going to have to pick it up for the defense. It's usually you guys are balanced, but the offense, y'all going to have to score 30, 35, maybe even 40 points a game until his defense has figured things out because it ain't looking good for the defense right now. But I definitely want to hear your thoughts on what you thought of this game.
Yeah, some Ravens fans really need to shut the fuck up. They literally need to shut the fuck up, y'all. They had the audacity to say that LJ, our franchise quarterback, our two-time MVP of all people on his team, and that he
Mm,
wasn't injured. Literally, that was the topic on Ravens social media late Sunday
yeah.
night into Monday morning. Like, this guy's played hurt several times. He's left games and came back. Remember the game against the Browns a couple years ago on Thursday Night Football? He left and they thought that he had, messed himself in his pants. Went to the
Hmm.
locker room, came back just in time when they was punting back to us. on I think the final drive, and he came back and let us downfield. Games like that, he's put this team on his back several times over the years when we didn't have anybody on the offensive side of the ball. We just had a very good defense during those times. Um, y'all gonna say that about him, Lamar Jackson? I mean, come on now. Arguably our best quarterback in franchise history. Y'all know I wasn't a big Joe Flacco fan. I know he led us to the Super Bowl and everything, but honestly, if he's not the best quarterback in franchise history, he's number two. So I just think that's absolutely see now it's absolutely absurd that they would say stuff like that. One of the Ravens pages I follow, somebody posted, he said, "Y'all coming at Lamar Jackson after today's game, you're missing the bigger picture. He threw his fifth interception in the last 20 games. That's elite efficiency. Every quarterback makes mistakes, but Lamar has been one of the consistent in the league. Well, people are ignoring the fact that the Ravens are down seven defensive starters and multiple key guys on offense. No team is supposed to look flawless with that many injuries. Let's be real. Coaching and play calling matter. I've been talking about play calling all season. A quarterback can only run what's called when the playbook shrinks because of injuries, and when the defense is gassed, it forces riskier throws and tougher situations. That's not Lamar alone. Bottom line, Lamar is still the engine of this team. Blame the injuries, blame the coaching adjustments, but don't act like these games erase what he's been doing week after week. Just what I just said. Another one from a Ravens insider, Sarah Elton. I mentioned her a couple weeks ago. She said, and this was immediately after the game. She said, "Feels dramatic to say that just after 4 weeks of football, but the Ravens season is already in dire straits. 1-3, no signs of life in the offense, defense, special teams, or coaching staff." I agree. It's not just losing the game, but losing so many key starters in this game alone. Lamar, Marlon, Rowe, Nate, and Ronnie Stanley. All eyes turn to Lamar Jackson's hamstring. Makes sense. Um, where the toughest portion of our season is behind us, thank God. Um, but only Lamar's presence could save this season. But even if they do, are there real expectations they can compete with AFC's elite? I understand that. The last time the Ravens were 1-3 was 2015. We suffered multiple injuries that year as well, including Joe Flacco, our franchise quarterback at that time. We finished 5-11. Ravens coaching staff really needs to take a look in the mirror. I understand that. Mainly, I feel like it's the offensive and defense coordinator. Other Ravens fans I've talked to feel like it's John Harbaugh, and that's what they say online as well. They can't lean on injuries as an excuse, but they were already bad before that. Poor play calls, um, gotta have it gotta have it situations, poor use of personnel, and I'm getting that to that later. Outcoached by the Chiefs year in and year out. Um, and then basically she said if we can't turn it around, Steve Bisciotti's got to look at the coaching staff and go from there. So real quick, years ago, you may not remember this, but I probably mentioned it before. Ray Lewis got on our fans when they called out Kyle Bowler when they were booing Kyle Bowler. Excuse me, he called us out at the podium after a game. It was a blowout loss at the bank, and the fans were booing Kyle Bowler, your boy, Kyle the Game Blow Bowler.
I
Someone,
was thinking about that.
someone needs to call out Ravens fans right now because again, I'm not happy with what I saw. What they were talking about Lamar Jackson. There's one guy that I probably won't talk bad about. Probably two guys, Lamar Jackson and Kyle Hamilton, because of the plays that they've made over the years since they've been drafted. Kyle, a little bit less in the league than Lamar, obviously. He was drafted in 22 compared to Lamar in 2019, but just the gameplay that they've had. I didn't have high expectations with Kyle coming into the league because I didn't think we needed a safety, and he shut me up 100%. And Lamar, I just wasn't expecting us to take a quarterback at 32. I wasn't expecting us to trade back into the first round that year because it's something we don't normally do. But now to the game. Excuse me, to the game. A few quick points. It was pretty much over after that opening drive, in my opinion. Our offense, excuse me, our run defense did improve. We didn't give up over 200 yards rushing. I think it was like 140, 160, something like that, or less. We did get away from running the ball for whatever reason. A typical, um, I want to say, Greg Roman. He's not offensive coordinator anymore. A typical um, Todd Monken game calling game as of late. Ronnie Stanley got injured, and we put nobody over there to help with his replacement. And all you saw was Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, and Nick Bolton. All you saw on every play because they knew that they was going to reach. They had three holes where they can get through this offensive line. And I'm not talking about holes opening up. I'm talking about holes of guys just standing there basically blocking nobody. Daniel Falele, Andrew Voorhees, and whoever the hell came in at left tackle. I don't even know the guy's name, honestly. Okay, it was bad. The offensive line was terrible. It had Lamar running for his life. The fourth down play call was absolutely mind-boggling. We didn't have Derrick Henry on the field, so it screamed a pass play. He had three receivers out wide, and damn near as soon as Lamar snapped the ball, it was damn near three guys in the backfield coming at his face immediately. So he had to throw a pass that wasn't even catchable on that play. I don't blame Lamar on that one. He had absolutely no time to throw. Roquan and Humphrey also left, as you mentioned, meaning our linebackers are getting even more bullied. They have one blocking play where Travis Kelsey, I can't stand his ass, but he took our rookie linebacker, I want to say Malik Harrison, but it's not him. He wear Buchanan. Um, he took Buchanan, just came up and just literally grabbed him right underneath his armpits and damn near picked him up and threw him to the ground. And I'm like,
Mm.
oh my God, here we go. And then the special teams coverage, they're not much better either. Okay. Special teams is really a main issue for this team that a lot of people are not talking about. We continue to set these teams up at the 35 and 40-yard line, not because of bad kicks by Tyler Luke, because of bad coverage. These guys cannot tackle on special teams, a unit that we've been good at for years. They got to get it together too. But yeah, I admitted to you on Sunday that injuries are not an excuse, but they're certainly a factor. You can't deny it. Down six or seven defensive starters, and your left tackle leaves. He's a Pro Bowl left tackle. Pro Bowl fullback Patrick Ricard. He hasn't been in there pretty much all season. He's out again. They didn't. I don't know why they don't call up the fullback from the practice squad. We got some third, fourth string tight end, a guy I ain't never heard of either, playing fullback, and he can't block worth shit either. Okay, it's just hard to overcome that. I will though give credit to the Lions. I know because a lot of people are probably thinking, well, the Lions did it last year. They were down so many defense starters. Yeah, they were. So I got to give credit to them. But right now, we just ain't the Lions. Playing games like they did, the intensity and stuff like that to win as many games as they did to the last year. Shout out to them. But I may be holding on to hope for too long. I do feel like there's a chance to at least turn things around, at least possibly make the playoffs as a wild card team. Our toughest stretch of the season is behind us, as I mentioned. We do have Houston and the Rams coming up. We got a bye week after that. I can't tell you what's after that. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know that Pittsburgh's schedule, they're the AFC North leaders right now. Their schedule is about to get tougher. Cincinnati look like ass without Joe Burrow, and Cleveland is Cleveland. Yes, Cleveland will probably beat us once this year, but Cleveland is Cleveland. That speaks in its own value. But in times like this, our coaching has to improve. Like I read that tweet from Sarah Ellison. Offense, Falele, Voorhees, Stanley's replacement, they're struggling. We don't have any type of additional blocking in the backfield. Take that risk. Put two backs in the backfield. As I mentioned, pull up that fullback from the practice squad. He played at Army. He's a rookie fullback, but at least try it out. Try something else. It's not working. Try something. Defense. Stop sending those defensive back blitzes. We get burned every time. It wasn't as many in this game because Worthy was just beating us flat out. Whether it was man to man zone, whatever. He had uh, um, a pass over Marlon Humphrey, and I think that's the play that Marlon Humphrey got injured. But we I kind of figured when they said he was coming back, I was like, oh God, here we go. I knew that Thornton was going to be an issue. I think he ended up catching a touchdown pass as well. But yeah, we got to get some penetration as well. You mentioned that no penetration for most of this season. It did improve a little bit on Sunday. Um, we have a chance to redeem ourselves next Sunday against Houston because their offensive line is some ass. But we'll get more into that on Friday. And then special teams, one word, just tackle. Two words, tackle. Come on, y'all, for real. But yeah, that's all. They definitely been raising my blood pressure to start this season. Honestly, y'all, there's not too many games where I don't watch if I'm have the ability to have it on my television in front of me. I was home Sunday. I left this game once right before the halftime. I think they had scored a. I feel like they had scored a touchdown, but then, if I remember correctly, they missed the field goal. Harrison Bucker. And then next thing I knew, I glanced back at the television and we were going for a field goal. Tyler Luke connected, and then right early fourth quarter, we was just getting blown out. I think that was around the time LJ left, and I was like, "Yeah, it's done. Ain't no damn way Cooper Rush gonna come back from this." Mm-mm. So Hopefully Lamar is back and healthy enough to play on Sunday, and we could turn this thing around. But I'm not confident. It may just be a long season. It may just be a long what we got about 14 weeks or so left. Uh, it's looking like so. I'm mentally prepared for that. I just don't want to honestly deal with it. But
Mm.
every team goes through it every once in a while. We'll see how it goes.
Let me ask you this real quick, man. Between the Washington Commanders defense and the Baltimore Ravens defense, be honest with me. Which one do you think is worse? Which one would you rather have at this point? Because y'all
I'd
y'all
ra-
got injuries. We got Dietrich Wise is out for us on our defensive line, but other than that, let me just ask, yeah, which defense do you think is worse?
honestly still rather take mine. We still have Kyle Hamilton back there. I don't think Malik
I agree.
Starks has played to the ability that he's should be playing to. We have to wait and see what Nate Wiggins is gonna if he's gonna be out, how long he's gonna be out. I think we still have depth at the cornerback position. Our corners haven't played that bad, besides Marlon Humphrey and I keep want to say Lattimore, but it's Jair Alexander. He hasn't been active since week one. Linebackers and interior defensive line, I thought was going to be a problem heading into the season. We lost Michael Pierce, nobody to really replace him. Travis Jones, Braddock, Washington, they were questionable heading into this game, so I think they're nearing coming back. That'll fix that interior front as far as run defense and penetration. Both those guys are really good, especially Travis Jones at rushing the passer. Kyle Van Noy is close to being back, so they say. Um, and hopefully Mike Green, a guy you're high on, he did have some positive plays Sunday. Hopefully he can
Okay.
improve. I think we're getting there as far as, again, we have two more games until the bye week. Yes, Matthew Stafford's going to expose the hell out of us. He always does. I know that's going to happen. And it'll be just my luck. CJ Stroud will come out and have a career game against us from the passing standpoint. But I think if we can get to the bye week, and that's hopefully enough time to get again Robert Washington, Travis Jones, Kyle Van Noy. Hopefully, I think Rowe and Marlon Humphrey are going to be out a few weeks. It might be a good thing that Marlon Humphrey sit with some of the receivers coming up. Nico Collins, I think he's still out there, and Devontae Adams and Pico Nakua coming up in a
Yeah.
couple weeks. It might be a good idea that Marlon Humphrey does not play because he's been getting exposed like Brandon Stevens lately. But I think some of our guys are coming back. Your defense, on the other hand, is bad. I think y'all have the inability to tackle. That's what the issue is with y'all. Y'all just cannot tackle. So yeah, I'd take our guys right now over y'all.
I would too. You hit the nail on the head. Tackling. I will say our defensive line is a little better than I thought it would be, but the secondary is still overall as a defense. There's not really. You can name Kyle Hamilton. You can name Roquan Smith. You know he's injured. You can name guys that are playmakers for y'all. You can't really name a playmaker on our defense. You can say Bobby Wagner if you want to, but let's look at the film. How many plays has he really made? I don't know. Marshawn Lattimore, I'm at the point now where I'm just expecting him to get beat pretty much every game he plays in. He came in last year, we thought he looked like a breath of fresh air, but this year, I don't know. He just looks old. Teams look like they're picking on him a little bit. I don't know. I'm hoping Mike Sarenstill and Trey Amos can start playing better. Mike Sarenstill, he did have a pick against the
Yes.
Falcons, but it's not consistency that we're seeing in the defense. Like I said, in my rant against them against the Falcons. When it's time for them to make a play, make a stop, it's not going to happen. And I'm not sure what's going to change in order for that to happen where they can make plays. Hopefully, Von Miller, his engine gets revved up more. And when he is out there in situational plays, he makes more plays. But I just don't know. I don't see it. God help him. We'll see. All right, everyone. I texted you about this game. The real Daniel Jones showed up. Rams beat the Colts 27-20. It's kind of the theme how I talked about the Eagles and the Bucs. Good teams find ways to win games, and when you're playing against good teams, they capitalize off your mistakes. Um, let's get to the end of the game. When I texted you that, I think it was the end of the game where Daniel Jones threw his second interception. Cameron Crowe picked it off. We got just for this game alone, the idea came in my head where we have our bonehead of the week, bonehead play of the week, bonehead move of the week. We have to have that a bonehead move of the year, bonehead play of the year. Definitely had a candidate for it this game. Possibly could have caused them to win. AD Mitchell, sir, I don't know what were you thinking. You fumble the ball as you're caught crossing the goal line for the score. You fumble the ball out of bounds. It ends up being a touchback. You look at the score, 27-20. I mean, that could have been a difference in the ball game right there. That gaff you had right there, sir. Um, oh my goodness. I'm surprised. I'm not I guess I can't be surprised he didn't get cut. I mean, he from what I've heard, he's a really good practice player. He practices hard. I'm sure he's in the doghouse right now. I'm sure he's more pissed at himself than anybody can be. But that was definitely a bonehead play. You fumbling that ball, just reaching your hand out like that and losing it. Oh my goodness. Colts had chances to win this game, but penalties, bonehead mistakes. At the end of the game, Jonathan Taylor had a 50-yard run for a touchdown. I think it would have tied the game up. But penalty, holding penalty, you know, play had to go back, and that messed it up right there. And then I want to say they tied it on a field goal or something. Game was pretty much tied. Rams get the ball back. Damn Colts have 10 men on the field. This is the play where Matthew Stafford hits Tutu Atwell for 88 yards. They have 10 men on the field. Not only that, the Colts defender, he falls down. I think that's how Tutu Atwell got so open. He falls down. Tutu Atwell, Matt Stafford hits him. He runs for 88 yards. But 10 men on the field, like I say, good teams find ways to win games. When you're playing against good teams, you make a mistake, they're going to capitalize on it. That's exactly what the Rams did. I'm wondering, is this going to be a thing? You know, Colts, you play a good team. Is this going to happen more often? Is you going to be put in a situation where Danny Jones is going to have to win a game and he turns the ball over like he did a lot with the Giants? Or was this, hey, chalk it up to just another week of NFL. Y'all come back next week and y'all look like how you've been doing the first 2 weeks. I don't know. I'm not too sure. For the Rams, on the other hand, they looking like one of those teams that you're going to see at the end of the year. I'm talking about late in the playoffs. Puka Nakua has been killing it so far. I mean, you look at the numbers. He's great so far. This is great. Devontae Adams has been a great addition as well. And Kyron Williams is a really good back. This is a great win for the Rams going in or having the Colts come into their town and keep coming out there with a win. Colts, I don't know. We'll see how y'all look going forward. But 2 interceptions for Daniel Jones. He kind of looked like how the Giants saw him out there when they were losing games. So, but Brandon, what were your thoughts on this game, sir?
Colts safety Cam Bynum, he called out Rams fans before the game last week. He said that the stadium is always loud while their fans are sitting. He said that they be pumping sound into the stadium. I don't know if you heard this or not, Ed. Bynum said that the fans aren't that turned. Those are his direct words. Aren't that turned, right? He could be right, y'all. I've never been to a Rams game. I don't know. I've only seen on TV, but those Rams wide receivers, they be turned. I said it in the week 4 preview show. Not a lot of touchdowns, but definitely production. They got into the end zone on Sunday. Let's look at the game. You mentioned a few of them. Devontae Adams, he had that second quarter touchdown. Who was in coverage? Bynum. Puka's fourth quarter touchdown. Bynum was in the area on that one too. Stafford the 2-2 Atwell inside the final 2 minutes. Bynum burnt again. What's the theme? Bynum, Bynum, Bynum. Don't talk trash until you get on the field. Okay. I've never been a fan of it for my players. I have no control of it. Obviously, I'm just a fan. But let your play on the field do the talking. Don't talk ahead of the game to where they can use it as bulletin board material. Shifting gears though, Colts quarterback Daniel Jones. I mentioned Friday's show. It only takes one fumble, y'all, to let us see the real Daniel Jones. Now, his first turnover was not a fumble. It was an interception. Okay, 4 plays in the opening drive, Curl picks him off on a deep right pass. Later in the final drive, they had the opportunity to tie it or even win it with a 2 point play, a touchdown and 2 point conversion. Curl picks them off again. It was like Daniel Jones thought Curl was one of his offensive playmakers. He was just throwing right to him. But he also put the ball on the ground as well. Daniel Jones had a fumble again. But yeah, my guy Davis Allen, I said he was going to be a factor in this game. He really didn't show up. He's a Rams tight end, but as you mentioned, Adams, Puka, and Tutu Atwell, most certainly did. Um, Great game here against the Colts. Um, Good win for the Rams. Like I did say that this was going to be the Colts' toughest test so far. Everybody was high on them. It was 3-0. They was looking good. Daniel Jones was looking good. Jonathan Taylor was looking good. Jonathan Taylor always looks good. Let me
Yeah,
take that back. But Daniel Jones was the question mark heading into this game. How will he perform and stuff? Well, we saw it um, directly there at SoFi Stadium. Not a good game for the Colts. And you mentioned that bonehead play by that wide receiver. Uh, yeah, by the wide receiver for the Colts. We always see at least one or two of those plays each year, and I think that was the first one of this year.
yeah. Hopefully it lasts, but you never know.
Yep. All right, Packers and Cowboys tied at AT&T Stadium as fans got extra football for free. 40-40 was the final. Ed, want to hear your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I believe they said this was the second highest scoring tie in NFL history. Going into this game, when I was doing my parlay picks, I was thinking to myself like, yeah, man, Packers Cowboys, that's an easy one. But then I started thinking more. And I was like, you know what? I just had a funny feeling like the Cowboys, I don't think they're gonna get blown out. I think it'll be come down to the end. I really did think that just because regular season, Dak Prescott, he's usually pretty good. He usually can light it up in the regular season. But when the game gets close, funny shit start happening. Playoffs, funny shit start happening. But the regular season, he usually is a good quarterback who can put up numbers. Early on in this game, it kind of looked like, oh damn, maybe I should have put money on the Packers because it looked like they was about to whoop their ass. I think the score was 13-2 at one point, and
Yeah,
that 2 points came off of a blocked kick on a PAT for the Packers, and Cowboys returned it for a touchdown, or for the 2 points, excuse me. But just overall, from a game point standpoint, Micah Parsons, you kind of see why the Cowboys traded him, but you can also see that the Cowboys missed him. Um, in my opinion, the play at the end of the game, I think it was overtime where he stopped Dak. Um, is debatable. He could have scored a touchdown or not, but he certainly made a play where he wasn't going to get the touchdown. So plays like that, you can see where, yeah, I wish I had a guy like that on my team. But saying that, Cowboys put up 40 points. They were able to neutralize Michael for the most part. He did have pressures out there. It was close one time to look like he was going to get either a strip sack or even knock the ball out of Dak's hands. But Dak was able to get the ball out of harm's way. George Pickens had himself a hell of a game. He had a great catch that Dak, and it was a great throw, great play overall, great throw from Dak, great catch from George Pickens. Think he caught it like the 1 yard line, two defenders draped all over him. He catches the ball, just great play overall. Packers, Jordan Love, he lit it up as well. Both of the offense lit it up, in my opinion. Kind of concerned with the Packers defense going forward. If this was just an anomaly, or is this going to look like it was going forward? The first 2-3 weeks they look pretty good. You can kind of say, "Oh, this is looking like it's going to be a top 5 unit, a top 3 unit." Michael Parsons on the defensive line, that secondary is playing lights out. George Pickens had himself a hell of a game. Jake Ferguson, he had himself a hell of a game. I'm kind of interested to see how that Packers defense looks. Is this an anomaly, or are they going to be able to rebound and look like how they were the first 3 weeks? I'm not too sure. Interested to see. Then the Cowboys, man, I think I was talking to some Cowboys fans at work. I was like, hey, man, you guys got a tie. Everyone thought y'all was going to get blown the hell out. He was like, nah, man. Or they were like, nah, man, they should have won that game. I wish they would have went for it on fourth down and things like that. So it doesn't look like a lot of Cowboys fans are too happy about the tie. They would rather have the win. 1-2-1 is not really a record that's really attractive, but could be worse. I could have lost. It could, Michael Parsons could have came in there, had 3-4 sacks, been a game record. But I'm trying to look at the bright side of the Cowboys. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm a Commanders fan, but I do like Dak. I like how he plays out there. But I don't know. This game though, really high scoring game. And like I said, you can see why the Cowboys traded away Micah, but you can also see why the Cowboys could use somebody for Micah because he did make that play after the end of the overtime where he tackled Dak before he could make something happen and eventually get in the end zone. But yeah, hell of a game, man. What's your thoughts on this?
yeah. Dak Prescott, in my opinion, is playing at an MVP level. I can't
Yeah,
deny it. Sunday night, he didn't hold on to the football for long. He was efficient. He did it without CD Lamb. What's keeping Dallas in these games is him and the run game. Javante Adams, he isn't the best running back in the league, y'all, but he's
Monty Williams. Yeah,
definitely, yeah, he's definitely an improvement for them. I saw it, early on, and I was like, okay, yeah, he's going to be the better addition out of him and Miles Sanders. He's just been able to make those tough runs. He's a fast running back. Finished 20 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown. Dak made a hell of a throw to George Pickens there to get them out of that 13-2 hole, as you talked about. Two defenders all over him. Dak came back on the next play or a couple plays later with a rushing touchdown right up the gut. Dak also hit Ferguson in double coverage for the short touchdown, and Pickens scored right before the end of regulation as well. Just a great game for this Dallas Cowboys offense, in my opinion. On the other side of the field, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo?
yeah.
Okay, he was certainly out there on the field Sunday night. Three passing touchdowns for the fourth year veteran. But yeah, it was that Micah Parsons saving a touchdown on that tackle for Dak. It looked like he was gonna find a way to get into the end zone. What he was like 4 or 5 yards short of the end zone. Um, so yeah, it ended up in a tie. Like you said, is you don't necessarily want to end the game in a tie, but it's better than a loss, I guess you could say, in a sense. I guess, and then this is a question that popped up in my head a couple days ago. What do you think it's going to take for the NFL to get away from these ties in the regular season? Do you? Because what I thought was, if we get a week where it's like, let's say, three ties in 1 week, and it really affects playoff positioning down the stretch, or those teams end up being in the playoff hunt, I think that'll do it. Or if there's like, because at the most, I think we've seen three or four for the whole year, and they're typically, one or two a week. It's not that many, but it's usually no more than two a week. I think if it's either, again, let's say three in 1 week and it affects playoff positioning, or let's say more than five for the entire season, I think they'll end up going to either a different situation where possibly you could do I believe something like college football does, set them up at the 20-yard line or something like that and have them try to score that way, or something, where they're not ending up in a tie. Because, obviously in the postseason, you have to play until you get a winner one way or another. We don't necessarily want that too much in the regular season because it's, so many more games typically after that. But what do you think it'll take for the NFL to change the thing with ties?
I'm not sure. I honestly think they should go back to, instead of 10-minute overtime periods, they should extend it to 15 minutes, kind of make it where it's like a regular quarter. I think that can help in breaking ties and making, ties not happen as often. But we'll see. I'm not too sure what they'll do. It's probably a scenario like you mentioned where playoff scenario gets broken into it. Maybe they'll add like a more of a college aspect where, okay, this game can't end in the time. We're going to do this and this, where everybody gets the ball at the 25-yard line and somebody has to score, and then we'll see what happened there. But I think they could start just with the overtime rule, adjusting it to 15 minutes instead of 10 minutes. So I was like, damn, it seemed like that overtime went by real fast.
Yeah.
So I think 15 minutes would definitely help, just, with the overall overtime experience and maybe making it so ties won't happen.
Yeah, I feel like after this game, the way, it was kind of like a shootout, and just some of the games over the years, I think within, not necessarily this year during the league off-season meetings, maybe within the next 2 to 3 years, it's going to be something that's going to be at the forefront, kind of like the special teams. They were saying it was not enough returns one year. Well, right before that, they were saying it was too many injuries on special teams. So they really kind of focused on special teams last couple of years. I think pretty soon it may be the tie situation, the overtime situation during the regular season. So we'll see how it goes for sure.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, we got some player awards to give out. We're going to start on the offensive side of the ball. Ed, who you got?
I got to give it to Puka Nakua, man. 13 catches, 170 yards, and a touchdown. He was going crazy out there, man. Puka Nakua is definitely my offensive player of the week. How about you, sir?
I'll be biased. Not a big game for the rookie there in New York, Jackson Dart, the quarterback, but he made plays when they needed to be made. 13 for 20, 111 yards and a touchdown, 10 carries, 55 yards, and a rushing touchdown as well. You kind of saw the difference when he was out. He had to leave, I believe, a calf injury or something like that, or concussion for a couple plays. Russell Wilson came in first play, if I'm not mistaken. He fumbled, so they realized that as of right now, Jackson Dart is the guy. He was just a spark, a ray of sunshine. He brought hope to this Giants franchise for sure. Defender of the week. Who you got?
Sticking with the Rams, actually, Cameron Curl, he picked off Daniel Jones twice in this game. Three solo tackles, six assisted tackles, and three passes defended, three passes deflected. But yeah, Cam Curl, two interceptions. My defensive player of the week. How about you?
I'm sticking with the Giants. Dexter Lawrence. Anytime you have a tip pass to yourself for the interception, you're a defensive tackle, a big defensive tackle. Gains my respect for sure. Great play. Dexter Lawrence. Special teams player of the week. Ed, what you got for us?
Going over to the Patriots, Marcus Jones, he returned I believe it was a punt return for a touchdown against the Panthers in that blowout win. Had a decent three punt returns, 87 yards was the longest, average of 57 or 55 yards. So Marcus Jones is my special team ace of the week. How about you?
Patriots keep winning. They're going to be the new America's team. They love Mike Vrabel. I'm going with Josh Blackwell, the third string Bears nickelback. He blocked the Raiders field goal attempt in the final seconds to secure the win for the Bears. Um, Second win for the Bears this season under the Ben Johnson regime. I got Josh Blackwell. How about a bonehead player call of the week? You kind of hinted at it earlier.
Yeah, definitely AD Mitchell. Sir, that's candidate for Bonehead Player of the Year. Even every time you blow an opportunity to score a touchdown, you fumble it, or you release the ball before you get in the end zone. I'm thinking of Malachi Corley last year for the Jets is just real bad, man. So AD Mitchell, Bonehead move of the week for me, sir, and candidate for Bonehead move of the year. How about you? Who you got?
I didn't see this play live, but I saw a replay of it. Whoever the Jets' return was, they called a fair catch at the 2 yard line,
Oh yeah, that
and
was bad
I
too.
make I make the point that I didn't see it live because I'm not sure how many defenders were close to him, but it's very rare that we see a fair catch that close to the end zone. So I think it was Isaiah Williams, but I'm not 100% sure. Whoever that punt returner was for the Jets on that fair catch inside the 5 yard line.
Yeah, and he knew it right away too. He caught the ball and he looked back. He was like, "Oh Lord, what the hell was I thinking?" Yeah, that was definitely a bad one. All right, let's get into these other games of the week. Of course, we had the Thursday night game. Seahawks topping the Cardinals, 23-20. Steelers get their first ever game in Ireland, beating the Vikings. Kind of a thrilling finish, 24-21. Patriots crushed the Panthers, 42-13. Texans shut out the Titans, blanked them, 26-0. Bills over the Saints 31-19. That game was kind of, close at first. I was wondering if we were going to have an upset on our hands. Jags impressive win over the 49ers 26-21. Bears topped the Raiders in Vegas 25-24. Dolphins win their first game. Someone's had to go against the Jets 27-21. And Broncos beat the hell out of the Bengals 28-3. Dominant performance from the defense, sacking Jake Browning everywhere he was out there, and the Bo Nix looked pretty good out there as well. So yeah, tough games out there. You got any thoughts or anything surprised you about in the rest of these games from Week 4?
Yeah, on this Steelers international game, I just cannot get an international game right. I went with the Vikings, and it was pretty much Steelers from start to finish. Patriots over the Panthers. Some folks, I'm sure, far from few, but some folks do probably think the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl. They're just so high on Mike Vrabel for whatever reason. Um, Jags over the Niners, a great win for the great win for the Jaguars, a statement win. But this Jags defense, I talked about it in the pre-show. Three leading the league in forced turnovers on their defense side of the ball. Three plus forced turnovers in 4 games straight to start the season. That's the longest in franchise history. This Jags defense is playing really good. Um, Dolphins Jets on Monday Night Football. The Jets started with that great opening drive. Man, it was running the ball down the throat of the Dolphins defense, we was people was thinking, and the broadcasters were, man, this Miami defense just cannot stop the bleeding when it comes to stopping the run, and they fumbled uh, in the red area, turned the ball over, and I just thought to myself, same old Jets, 0-4. No disrespect to Aaron Glenn, but I'm sorry, you're doomed, at least for now. And Broncos over the Bengals, great win, Denver, and keep it up, Cincinnati. Just keep it up. Y'all doing us some favors. What are your thoughts on any of these games?
Yeah, man. I really hope they give Aaron Glenn another year or two. It's tough. I feel so bad for him out there. Penalties, turnovers. I think they had 3 turnovers, 13 penalties. Media was saying they could hear him yelling at the team after the game, giving them everything. It's just I feel bad for him, man. You got to go out there and see things like that happen. I mean, you talked about it, the bonehead play, the guy calling for a fair catch at the damn 2-inch line. I was like, come on, man, what are y'all doing out there? It's just tough, tough. You see Garrett Wilson on the sideline, like he frustrated. He get a ball thrown to him. Finally, he catches a touchdown, but it's pretty much too late at the end of that point, man. That Jags 49ers game, that was a game I kind of stayed away from. I didn't had a feeling. I never know, but that's an impressive win for the Jags, man. I wonder if it was more the Niners and Brock Purdy, coming off that toe injury he's dealing with, or was it the Jags kind of turning the corners? Liam Cohen make some things happen with that team out there. Definitely going to keep an eye on the Jazz going forward. And then I talked about that Bills Saints game. It was kind of a close game, leading up to the fourth quarter. Then it kind of pulled away. So, good teams find ways to win games. I keep saying, I'm gonna keep saying it this whole year. But the Bills, they're 4-0 too. It's looking like they're gonna be a team that's coming out the AFC right now. They're gonna keep winning games. They get into games like this, you can call it a trap game, but they're gonna win. I don't know who's gonna beat them. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they go undefeated. I know that's kind of a hot take. It's still early, but way things looking right now, I don't know. Unless an injury happens where throws things out of Ray. But yeah, definitely interesting seeing them play.
Yeah, that Jags Niners game. I don't know if you caught the end of it or heard about it. Liam Cohen
Oh yeah, him
emerged
and
for
yeah, I like
oh
that. I forgot
I
all about
ain't
that. Yeah, I saw that.
I'm far from the biggest guy around. I ain't in the gym, you know what I'm saying? But I would not mess with Robert Sala. I would not mess with him.
Liam Cole looked like he been in how you said
Yeah.
Duval and that Duval up in him now. He ain't, hey, look. What he said? Keep my name out your mouth.
Yep. Yeah. And
Hey,
and cursed it on the third time. He said it 3 times and he cursed on the third time. Keep my name out of your effing mouth. Yeah, he was ready for him, but I was like, okay, tread lightly. If I was a Jaguars fan, I'd be like, tread lightly, back up like John Harbaugh against who was it? Damn, who did John Harbaugh? Oh, Mike Vrabel. I was like, man, John, go, just pull away, just stop. It was back when he was with the Titans. They was going at it because the players were going at it. That's when the rivalry was pretty good. They had beat us a couple years before. Nah, man, if I was Liam, I was picking battles, man. Picking battles for sure.
hey man, that Duval County. He repping that
Yeah,
Duval County now. Look, it's starting to come out. That fight coming out of him. Never know. But yeah,
got a
that was
point.
that was, that was very entertaining. I like that. I know Robert Sala was pissed because he's the one
Yeah,
that said something. He the one that kind of put the bulletin board material on there. Liam Cohen punched him in the mouth with that. Yeah,
yeah,
so got the bragging rights.
you're right. Okay. All right, everyone. That's going to do it for our week 4 episode of the Breaking and Entering podcast. We've got a great Thursday night football matchup coming up, a second straight NFC West matchup. 49ers at Rams. As Ed says, one of the O's got to go and not their record, but their um, 49ers are 2-0 on the road. The Rams are 2-0 at home. So, again, one of those O's got to go. They're both 3-1 overall. We'll see how that goes. That should be a great matchup. We'll talk about that on Friday. In the meantime, please hit the subscribe button on your screen. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Podcast BNE, and on IG at BNE Podcasts. We'll be back Friday. As I mentioned, got several games to look at. A great week 5. You got something?
No, I was just saying
Okay,
peace.
got you. All right. Great week 5. Look at coming up. Some teams on the bye week. So for y'all fans, have a great week off. Enjoy your rest. And the players as well, get rested up and prepare for your next game. Until next time, Love one another.
I wish we had a bye week.
Same.